Ben Sulayem wants a Chinese team on the F1 grid. Safnoa has plans to become the 12th team in the future. Previously, Andretti was the team closest to securing a spot in Formula One. Now, under the management of General Motors and the Cadillac name, it has successfully passed FIA inspection and is set to become the 11th team from 2026 onwards. With a major player from the U.S. automotive industry securing its place in F1, Mohammed Ben Sulayem is eager to see another major contender enter the fray, this time from China. For the past 2 years, my dream has been to have the major countries in F1, Ben Sulayem told the French newspaper Le Figaro when asked about possible expansion. The United States will be present with General Motors. The next step is to welcome a Chinese manufacturer. We already have a driver, he added, referring to Zhu Guanyu, though Zhu is no longer a regular driver after losing his seat at Sauber. The FIA president continued, stating that his primary interest was not just in having more teams, but in ensuring the F1 grid remains competitive during race weekends. Should we think in terms of quantity or quality? Sulayem asked. We need quality teams, he concluded. If Ben Sulayem plans to welcome a 12th team to the F1 grid in the future, Otmar Safnoa, former Alpine team principal, already has a plan to make it happen. In an interview with Planet F1, the former French outfits director revealed that he is actively working with the FIA to get his project accepted by the category. Should the plan come to fruition, the new team would have to pay $20 million, approximately £1 billion, according to the Concord Agreement. This fee is meant to compensate current teams and dissuade manufacturers from expanding the grid too easily. I have been working with some American investors and some automotive manufacturers. When I started the project, it was for the 11th team. But now, with Cadillac coming in, when the process reopens, I hope to present a robust project to enable a new team to enter, Safnoa stated. The risks and benefits of having a Chinese team in Formula One. Having a Chinese team in Formula One presents both opportunities and risks. On one hand, China is the world's largest automotive market, and a Chinese manufacturer joining F1 would open the doors to an enormous audience, attracting more sponsorships, investments, and fan engagement. Additionally, Chinese engineering and manufacturing capabilities could introduce new innovations to the sport, helping to push technological boundaries further. However, there are also concerns. Geopolitical tensions between China and Western countries could create complications in terms of sponsorship deals, regulatory approvals, and even supply chain management. Some teams might worry about intellectual property security, considering past controversies regarding Chinese industrial espionage in other sectors. Moreover, if a Chinese team struggles with performance and fails to be competitive, it could reflect poorly on the brand and reduce F1's appeal in the Chinese market rather than enhance it. A balance would need to be struck between fostering new opportunities and mitigating potential risks. If managed well, the arrival of a Chinese team could mark a new era of global expansion for Formula One. A special invitation to our viewers. For those of you who have followed F1 for decades, you know how the sport has evolved from the golden days of Senna and Prost to the modern hybrid era. If you're passionate about motorsport and want to stay informed with in-depth analysis, news, and discussions on everything happening in Formula One, we invite you to subscribe to our channel World on Wheels F1 News. We know that many F1 fans over 50 years old appreciate well-researched, insightful content rather than just quick headlines. That's exactly what we aim to provide, intelligent discussions on the sport we all love, without the sensationalism. Join our community, share your thoughts in the comments, and be part of the conversation about the future of Formula One. Hit the subscribe button now and stay ahead of the game. Today, we dive into a developing narrative that could shake up the 2025 Formula One season. Let's get into it. Jos Verstappen questions Red Bull's ability to deliver a competitive car in 2025 with the 2025 Formula One season fast approaching. Jos Verstappen, former F1 driver and father of four-time champion Max Verstappen, has voiced serious doubts about Red Bull's ability to produce a championship-winning car for his son. In an interview with F1 Insider, Joss expressed his concerns, saying, "I still have some doubts about it. Red Bull needs to build a car that is more predictable in all conditions. If you look at the second half of 2024, you can't be optimistic. Red Bull simply failed to make the car consistently fast. So, why should that change this year?" The second half of the 2024 season saw a notable dip in Red Bull's performance, which coincided with Adrian Newey's departure to Aston Martin. Joss was candid about the impact of Newey's absence, stating, "As far as Newey is concerned, it's clear the car didn't improve after he left the team. The updates didn't work as expected. I've already spoken enough about why the team risks falling apart. Let's leave it at that. One thing is certain. Red Bull has a massive task ahead in 2025. Despite these challenges, Max Verstappen managed to clinch his fourth championship title with 2 races to spare, delivering a stellar performance at the Sao Paulo Grand Prix." Joss praised his son's efforts, highlighting how Max consistently performed at the highest level. He was incredible in 2023. But of course, 2024 was tougher because the car wasn't the best, and he always had to drive on the limit without making mistakes. He did that extremely well, always giving 100%. This year, it became more evident to everyone that Max makes the difference compared to other drivers. The 2025 season kicks off on March 16th with the Australian Grand Prix, but fans won't have to wait that long to gauge the team's strengths. Pre-season testing is scheduled for February 26th to 28th at the Bahrain International Circuit, offering an early glimpse of what to expect. What do you think? Can Red Bull overcome these challenges and give Max Verstappen a car capable of defending his title? Or will this be the year other teams finally break through? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on everything Formula One. World on Wheels, where the passion for racing meets the road. See you in the next video. Max Verstappen has dominated Formula One since his first title win in 2021. By 2024, he had secured his 4th consecutive championship, cementing his place among the sport's greatest. But dominance doesn't come without scrutiny. Let's analyze Horner's speech and comment on this controversy involving the reigning world champion. The Dutch driver has been at the center of numerous controversies throughout his career. Critics often target his aggressive overtakes, controversial moves, and outspoken comments. In 2024, Verstappen faced penalties during key battles with Lando Norris, which only fueled the debates about his approach to racing. However, Verstappen has made it clear that he is unfazed by public opinion. As he put it, "I race my way. If people don't like it, that's their problem." Despite Verstappen's nonchalant attitude toward criticism, Red Bull's team principal, Christian Horner, sees things differently. In a recent interview, Horner described Verstappen as more sensitive than you think. According to Horner, Verstappen's aggressive driving style is not only a part of his DNA, but also a hallmark of great champions. "He's a driver who races aggressively," Horner stated. But Ayrton Senna, Michael Schumacher, and Lewis Hamilton were the same. They were all under the same spotlight at different times in their careers. Horner has consistently defended Verstappen against his detractors. In his opinion, much of the criticism is unwarranted, and he sees Verstappen as a driver who has matured significantly over the years. He joined us as a teenager, a product of Red Bull's junior team. His talent was obvious, Horner explained. Helmut Marko recognized that when Max was still in Formula 3, and he came to us very quickly after that. The speed hasn't changed, but his experience, perspective, and maturity have grown tremendously. Horner further emphasized the journey Verstappen has undertaken since joining Toro Rosso in 2015 and Red Bull's main team in 2016. "It's been a pleasure watching him grow from a boy into a man," Horner added. Since stepping into F1, Verstappen has developed into a driver capable of dominating the sport, winning the Drivers' Championship 4 times consecutively since 2021. As the 2025 season approaches, the question on everyone's mind is whether Verstappen can continue his reign. Potential challengers like Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc are expected to step up their game, but Horner remains confident in Verstappen's ability to stay ahead. He's not just fast, he's smart, and that's what sets him apart, Horner said. Love him or hate him, Max Verstappen is undeniably a force to be reckoned with. As he gears up for another season, fans and critics alike will be watching to see if he can maintain his dominance, or if the tide will turn in favor of a new champion. In my opinion, it's very simple. If you're in Formula One and you want to be a champion, you need to do whatever it takes to get to the top. Being an aggressive driver should be a tactic of every driver who wants to gain points and win the championship. You're competing for the World Champion Award, not the Nobel Peace Prize. Racing is war. What do you think? Will Verstappen continue to reign supreme in 2025, or is it time for a new star to shine? Let us know. Max Verstappen and the billion-pound offer. Should he wait until 2026? Former Haas team principal Günther Steiner has advised Max Verstappen to wait until after the 2026 Formula One season before considering Aston Martin's reported £1 billion offer. The Red Bull racing driver, who secured his fourth consecutive Drivers' Championship in 2024, is under contract with the team until 2028. However, rumors have been swirling about a potential future with other teams. In an interview with GP Blog, Steiner initially stated that Verstappen should accept Aston Martin's offer regardless of the circumstances. $1 billion is a big number. Even if Max finishes last, he should take $1 billion, Steiner said. Some teams obviously can't afford him, but Aston Martin can. However, Steiner has since revised his stance, suggesting that Verstappen should wait until after the 2026 regulation changes to evaluate his options. Why 2026 is a key year for Formula One. The 2026 season will bring significant technical and power unit regulation changes to Formula One. Steiner emphasized the importance of Red Bull providing Verstappen with a competitive car under the new rules. If the car is good in 2026, it will be good for another 3 or 4 years. When you start with new regulations, a new concept, and a new car, it takes considerable time to get out of that phase, he added. One of the most notable aspects of the 2026 regulations is the removal of the Doctor's drag reduction system, which will be replaced by a new manual overtaking mode, similar to systems used in IndyCar and Formula E. Additionally, F1 will introduce new, more sustainable power units, which could shake up the competitive order among teams. Steiner believes that waiting until 2026 will give Verstappen a clearer picture of which teams will be the most competitive under the new regulations. It's just a matter of waiting for 2026. I don't know Max's contract, what's in there, or how he can leave, but I assume he has a team performance clause. If the team is not good, he can leave after 2026 because that will be the key moment. Is the £1 billion offer realistic? Steiner also expressed skepticism about the legitimacy of Aston Martin's reported £1 billion offer. $1 billion? It's a bit exaggerated because that would set a record that would never be broken. It's somewhat fictional, but I'm sure Aston Martin would pay a substantial amount for him, he said. If Verstappen were to move to Aston Martin, Steiner believes that 2027 would be the most likely scenario. However, he warned that there is no guarantee that Aston Martin will be competitive after 2026. Maybe it's a 2027, but again, there's no guarantee for Max that Aston Martin will be good, he concluded. Potential changes in the 2025 driver market. The speculation surrounding Verstappen's future comes amid significant changes in the F1 driver market. Sergio Perez has been dropped by Red Bull for 2025, with New Zealander Liam Lawson set to partner Verstappen. Meanwhile, Yuki Tsunoda has been given a dual role, driving for Racing Bulls, formerly AlphaTauri, while serving as Red Bull's reserve driver. There have also been rumors about Lewis Hamilton's move to Ferrari, which many believe is his last shot at securing an 8th World Championship. Hamilton, who lost the 2021 title to Verstappen in a controversial final lap at Abu Dhabi, has struggled in recent seasons with Mercedes' underperforming car. However, the British driver hopes to challenge Verstappen alongside McLaren's Lando Norris for the 2025 title. Former Dutch racing driver Mike Hesmans believes Norris is the favorite for the 2025 season. The one with the best car will win. That's just how it is. And it looks like McLaren has the best car, Hesmans told Racing News. Max is super strong, of course, but if McLaren, Ferrari, and Mercedes step up, we could see a fantastic season. I think McLaren still has the strongest car, and Norris had an excellent final stretch in 2024, so I'd say he's a favorite. However, Hesmans believes Verstappen has an advantage over his rivals due to Red Bull's team structure. Unlike McLaren and Ferrari, which have two highly competitive drivers, Red Bull has positioned Lawson as Verstappen's clear number 2. That's the problem for McLaren and Ferrari. They have two very strong and closely matched drivers. Red Bull doesn't have that issue, so I think Max still has a great chance of becoming champion again, Hesmans explained. While Norris and Hamilton won't be able to rely on team orders, Verstappen is expected to receive full support from Red Bull. This could give the Dutch driver an edge in the 2025 championship battle, even if McLaren and Ferrari produce faster cars. What does the future hold for Verstappen? With all these factors in play, Verstappen faces a critical decision regarding his long-term future in Formula One. If Red Bull remains dominant under the 2026 regulations, staying with the team could be his best option. However, if Aston Martin emerges as a powerhouse with their new Honda engine and Adrian Newey's expertise, Verstappen may find the billion-pound offer too tempting to refuse. For now, all eyes will be on the 2025 season, where Verstappen will attempt to secure his 5th consecutive title. But as Steiner suggests, waiting until 2026 could be the smartest move for the Dutch superstar.
Get ready to explore the high-stakes world of Formula One in this video. We'll dive deep into Red Bull's monumental challenge of developing their first in-house engine with Ford for the 2026 season under revolutionary regulations. Plus, we'll uncover internal team dramas involving Max Verstappen and Helmut Marko, as well as Ferrari's bold moves for 2025. Can Red Bull maintain their dominance? Will Ferrari's risks pay off? Stay tuned for all the latest insights and analysis. Red Bull's engine challenge for 2026. What's at stake? Let's dive into one of the hottest topics in Formula One right now: Red Bull's engine project and the challenges they face as they prepare for the 2026 season. First, we know that the partnership with Honda is coming to an end after 2025, marking the final year of the Red Bull-Honda era. Red Bull has already heavily invested in its new powertrains division and is facing a monumental task: building its own power unit for 2026 in partnership with Ford. This isn't just any transition. The 2026 regulations represent one of the most significant changes in F1's 60-year history. Christian Horner, team principal of Red Bull, has referred to this project as the biggest challenge in Red Bull's history. While Horner expresses confidence in the team's talent, facilities, and unique Red Bull mindset, he acknowledges the long and difficult road ahead. Since establishing themselves as a dominant force in 2009, Red Bull has consistently been at the top of the grid, whether winning championships or being a constant threat to the leaders. Naturally, expectations for 2026 are sky high. However, Horner's cautious optimism suggests a strategic approach to managing those expectations. To ensure a competitive entry into this new era, Red Bull has recruited top talent, including several experts from Honda, who initially planned to exit F1 before deciding to return. Even with these resources, the task remains daunting. Red Bull's first self-developed engine comes under an incredibly challenging new regulatory framework. Many teams are already reporting significant hurdles in developing their 2026 power units, adding to the complexity of Red Bull's undertaking. We'll have to wait until 2026 to see how this project unfolds. But for now, the spotlight is on whether Red Bull can live up to their reputation and remain a frontrunner in the new era of Formula One. Fingers crossed for a competitive and exciting outcome for the team. Max Verstappen and the Red Bull internal drama. While Red Bull tackles their engine challenge, the team has also faced internal turbulence. Max Verstappen, their star driver, stirred the paddock in 2024 with strong remarks about his future at Red Bull. He made it clear that his loyalty to the team hinges heavily on the presence of Helmut Marko, a close ally. Rumors of Marko's potential departure sparked speculation about Verstappen's own future with the team. The 2024 season saw conflicts within Red Bull's management, contrasting with the team's early dominance on track. As the season progressed, issues with the car's performance and internal power struggles took center stage. Verstappen's strong ties to Marko became evident when he publicly supported him, even as Christian Horner reportedly clashed with the Austrian advisor. For now, Marko has extended his contract with Red Bull, much to Verstappen's relief. However, should Marko retire in the near future, Verstappen could be tempted by offers from rival teams such as Mercedes or Aston Martin. Verstappen has already hinted at his openness to new challenges, especially if Marko were to join him. This situation is a reminder of the intricate relationships that define Formula One. While Verstappen has a solid rapport with Horner, his father, Jos Verstappen, has been openly critical of the Red Bull team principle. This dynamic adds another layer of complexity to Verstappen's future with the team. How this all plays out could shape the driver market and team dynamics for years to come. Ferrari's bold changes for 2025 let's shift gears to Ferrari, who are making waves with their 2025 car development. The team has already passed their crash tests, and the early design concepts for the new car are generating buzz. Among the notable changes, Ferrari will switch from a pushrod to a pull-rod front suspension while retaining the pull-rod setup at the rear. This aligns their design philosophy more closely with trends seen across the grid. Additionally, Ferrari is optimizing the side pod air intake placement to reduce turbulence from the front wheels. Data from their 2024 car, the SF24, has been instrumental in addressing porpoising issues, which will further influence their 2025 design. However, the team has faced setbacks with aerodynamic updates that introduced new challenges during the 2024 season. These lessons are critical as Ferrari aims for a competitive 2025 campaign. Team principal Frédéric Vasseur has stated that the 2025 car will be 99% different from its predecessor. This highlights Ferrari's willingness to take risks as they seek to maximize performance before the new 2026 regulations come into effect. A competitive Ferrari could make 2025 a thrilling season with multiple teams fighting at the front. Looking ahead to 2026 and beyond as Formula One gears up for a transformative era in 2026, teams are balancing their focus between immediate gains and long-term planning. Red Bull, Ferrari, and others are all making bold moves to position themselves for success. While 2025 may be the last year of relative stability under the current rules, it promises to be an exciting season with plenty of storylines to watch. What are your thoughts on these developments? Will Red Bull rise to the challenge? Can Ferrari finally reclaim championship glory? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to World on Wheels for all the latest F1 insights. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update.
Welcome back to World on Wheels. Today, we're diving deep into what's shaping up for the 2025 Formula One season. With a stable set of regulations, you might think it's going to be a quiet year, but there are some noteworthy tweaks and updates that could have a significant impact. Let's break it all down, from flexible rear wings to weight changes, sprint races, and more. Buckle up, because this is going to be a thorough analysis for all the F1 enthusiasts out there. Let's kick off with the rear wing regulations. Remember the controversy around flexible rear wings in recent seasons? Teams faced bans on certain designs, and the FIA is taking no chances for 2025. They've promised stricter oversight to ensure compliance. While front wing regulations remain unchanged, allowing for some flex seen in prior years, the rear wings, often designed with an arch-like structure to improve aerodynamic stability, will be under the microscope. In fact, the FIA has tested solutions like additional fasteners to reduce flex, but no consensus was reached with the teams. Instead, the FIA will rely on more rigorous testing to ensure teams don't exploit loopholes during races. The big question is, will these arched wings become a contentious topic again in 2025, or will teams play fair this time around? Only time will tell. Another important change is the increase in car weight. The minimum weight has gone up from 798 kilograms to 800 kilograms. For drivers, the minimum weight requirement is now 82 kilograms. Smaller drivers like Yuki Tsunoda will need ballast added to their cars to meet these standards. Additionally, if race temperatures exceed 30.5 degrees Celsius, drivers will need to wear cooling vests, adding even more weight. This could push the car's minimum weight to 805 kilograms. Remember, this doesn't include fuel. With a full tank, F1 cars are approaching 900 kilograms, a far cry from the much lighter cars of previous decades.
Lando Norris sees Lewis Hamilton motivated for F1 2025 with Ferrari and says, "Anyone who doubts him is an idiot." In the world of Formula One, change is often met with skepticism, especially when it comes to a driver as accomplished as Lewis Hamilton. The seven-time world champion has made a significant move ahead of the 2025 season, leaving Mercedes for Ferrari. This shift has sparked a great deal of conversation and some criticism from within the sport, but one of Hamilton's contemporaries, Lando Norris, has been quick to defend him. According to Norris, the doubters are simply misguided. The McLaren driver expressed confidence in Hamilton's decision, stating that anyone who questions his abilities is an idiot. "I feel it's going to be difficult for him not to find something to motivate him," Norris said, speaking about Hamilton's transition to Ferrari. "After all, it's a big opportunity for him, and it's also a cool story. I'm sure there are a lot of advantages when you're with Ferrari, so there are plenty of reasons to be more motivated and ready to start. And it's Lewis we're talking about. Anyone who doubts him is a bit of an idiot." The move to Ferrari comes at a time when the Formula One landscape is undergoing significant changes. Since the introduction of the ground effect aerodynamics regulation in 2022, Mercedes, and Hamilton in particular, have faced challenges in maintaining their previous dominance. Although Hamilton closed out the 2023 season in third place overall, his performance has fluctuated over the last few years. In both 2022 and 2024, Hamilton struggled to find consistency, raising questions about whether Ferrari's decision to recruit him for the 2025 season was the right one. Despite the criticism and uncertainty surrounding Hamilton's move, Norris firmly believes in his compatriot's ability to perform at the highest level. When asked by Sky F1 whether he expects a new version of Hamilton in 2025, Norris was optimistic, though he acknowledged the many variables that could come into play. "I think so," Norris replied, "but I don't know. Everyone acts in their own way. I think the decision he made to go to Ferrari is great. It's really special. And Ferrari is an incredible team." Hamilton's move to Ferrari signals the end of an era with Mercedes, and for many, it's a reminder of the fluid nature of F1. Drivers, teams, and regulations evolve over time, and what worked in one season may not always be as effective the next. The 2025 season will be a fresh start for Hamilton, and his shift to Ferrari might just be the change he needs to reignite his career. As the 2025 F1 season approaches, Hamilton and his new team will be eager to prove that the move was a wise one. The upcoming preseason testing session in Bahrain, scheduled for February 26 to 28, will give fans and analysts their first real glimpse of what the partnership between Hamilton and Ferrari will look like. The season officially kicks off in Melbourne with the Australian Grand Prix on March 14th to 16th. Prost compares Verstappen to Lauda and sees Dutchman increasing his number of titles. Both the Professor and the Dutchman have 4 world titles, but according to the Frenchman, that won't last long. Max Verstappen made history in Formula One by winning his 4th world championship last year. Few names in history have achieved 4 titles, and one of them is Alain Prost. Prost, one of the greatest legends of F1 and considered Ayrton Senna's biggest rival, has no doubts about Verstappen's talent. Speaking to RMC, Prost said, "Max is a great champion. He has already proven that he is one of the best. So it's not a problem for me that he now has the same number of titles as I do. He will definitely surpass me in the coming years." I don't like comparing old drivers with current ones, but Max reminds me of Niki Lauda. He is very clear and direct, just like Lauda. If you ask Lauda something, his answer would always be honest. Verstappen is the same. He says what he thinks. It's not for me to make any other comparisons beyond that. Throughout Formula One history, certain drivers stand out not only for their speed and talent, but also for their unique approach to racing. Two names that have left a significant mark on the sport are Niki Lauda and Max Verstappen. While they race in completely different eras, their similarities in mentality, driving style, and ability to handle pressure make for an interesting comparison. Both men have demonstrated a relentless pursuit of excellence, an analytical approach to racing, and an unwavering confidence that sets them apart from many of their peers. A ruthless desire to win. One of the most striking similarities between Lauda and Verstappen is their sheer determination to win. Niki Lauda was known for his methodical and calculated approach to racing. He was not the type of driver to take unnecessary risks, but when he saw an opportunity to gain an advantage, he would seize it with precision. Max Verstappen, on the other hand, has developed a reputation for his aggressive driving style, pushing the limits of both his car and his competitors. While their approaches may differ slightly, the end goal remains the same: to dominate the competition and secure as many victories as possible. Both drivers also share a refusal to accept mediocrity. Lauda famously walked away from Ferrari in 1977 after winning his second championship, frustrated with internal politics and the team's lack of focus on performance. Similarly, Verstappen has been outspoken about Red Bull's performance over the years, demanding nothing but the best from his team. This kind of mindset is what separates good drivers from great ones, as it shows a deep understanding that success in Formula One requires constant improvement and adaptation. Straightforward and honest personalities. Another trait that links Lauda and Verstappen is their honesty and straightforwardness when dealing with the media and their teams. Lauda was known for his blunt and no-nonsense way of speaking. He never shied away from criticizing his own team or pointing out areas where they needed to improve. His famous rivalry with James Hunt was fueled not just by their on-track battles, but also by their contrasting personalities. Lauda being the pragmatic perfectionist and Hunt the flamboyant showman. Verstappen exhibits a similar level of directness. He is not afraid to express his thoughts, whether it's about his car's performance, his competitors, or FIA decisions. This honesty has sometimes made him a controversial figure, but it also endears him to fans who appreciate his authenticity. Verstappen's interactions with team principal Christian Horner and race engineer Giampiero Lambiase often reflect this no-filter approach, making it clear that he expects only the highest standards from those around him. Mental resilience under pressure. One of Lauda's defining moments in Formula One was his horrific crash at the 1976 German Grand Prix at the Nürburgring. Many believed he would never race again after suffering severe burns and lung damage. However, in one of the most remarkable comebacks in sports history, Lauda returned to racing just 6 weeks later, defying all odds. His ability to overcome such adversity showcased his incredible mental toughness and dedication to the sport. While Verstappen has not faced such a life-threatening incident, he has displayed immense mental resilience throughout his career. His controversial championship battle with Lewis Hamilton in 2021 was one of the most intense in Formula One history. The pressure, scrutiny, and controversies surrounding that season could have broken a lesser driver, but Verstappen remained focused and delivered when it mattered most, securing his first world title in dramatic fashion. This ability to perform under extreme stress is a quality that both he and Lauda share. Adaptability. And Racecraft Lauda was a master at adapting to different situations on track. He was not the fastest driver in pure speed, but his ability to read races, conserve his tires, and execute precise overtakes made him a formidable competitor. His 3 world championships were won not just through sheer speed, but through an intelligent approach to racing. Verstappen, too, has proven to be incredibly adaptable. When he first joined Formula One as a teenager, his aggressive style led to criticism and frequent incidents. However, over the years, he has refined his Racecraft, learning when to take risks and when to be patient. This evolution has turned him into a complete driver, one who can dominate a race from the front, but also fight through the field when necessary. Legacy in Formula One, both Lauda and Verstappen have secured their places in the history of Formula One. Lauda's impact extends beyond his driving career, as he later became a key figure in Mercedes' dominance during the 2010s. His leadership and experience helped shape the team into a powerhouse, with Lewis Hamilton benefiting from Lauda's wisdom and insight. Verstappen, still in the prime of his career, is already being discussed among the all-time greats. With multiple championships under his belt and many years ahead of him, he has the potential to rewrite the record books. His aggressive style, combined with his evolving maturity, suggests that he will continue to be a dominant force in Formula One for years to come. Conclusion: while Niki Lauda and Max Verstappen raced in very different eras, their similarities are undeniable. Both possess an unwavering desire to win, an unfiltered honesty, mental resilience, and an exceptional ability to adapt. Lauda's legacy as one of the sport's greatest minds continues to be celebrated, while Verstappen is in the process of building his own legendary status. If Verstappen continues on his current trajectory, he may very well become one of the most successful drivers the sport has ever seen, cementing his place alongside icons like Lauda in the annals of Formula One history. Here's a concise summary of the comparison between Niki Lauda and Max Verstappen. Both Lauda and Verstappen share an unwavering determination to win, a direct and honest personality, and immense mental resilience under pressure. Lauda was methodical and calculated, while Verstappen is known for his aggressive style, but both demanded excellence from their teams. Lauda's incredible comeback from his 1976 crash showcases toughness, while Verstappen demonstrated similar resilience during his controversial 2021 title battle. Their ability to adapt on track, combined with their drive to push the limits, makes them two of Formula One's greatest competitors. While Lauda's legacy is firmly established, Verstappen is on track to become one of the sport's all-time greats.